Hello ladies and gentlemen, An Idiot Imports is sponsored by Phantasia, and this copy of the game you're about to see probably came from them as part of their sponsorship deal, unless I very specifically say it didn't in the video. If you want to support this series, use the link in the description to go to Phantasia and buy an item or two. It'll help me out and increase the budget I get for import games. You can also use the coupon code BLUEVITA at checkout to save a bit of money, but it won't count towards my sales if you don't use that link. Either way, thanks for your support and enjoy the show.
Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is Blue Maxima, and I apologize for, well, actually to be fair, from your point of view, it probably hasn't looked like I've been out of action for this long, but, well, I have. I still have the cough, and chances are I'm going to have to filter out a lot of it in this video, but, well, there's nothing I can do about it. I've literally had this cough 3 weeks. I have to get back on the horse at some point, otherwise I'm never going to get anything done, so... This is Board Girls Phantasia. I know it's been out for a few weeks already. I haven't actually played it in the past week, and there's a reason for that. I absolutely hate it. And, like, that is so much different from Board Girls 2. At least with Board Girls 2, I found something to enjoy about it. This game is just worse in almost every possible fashion, which I'm honestly impressed by. At least games like Earth Defense Force very slowly iterate over the course of their sequels, but this game just doesn't. This game just went backwards, and is more annoying than any other game like this that I've played. Any of these other, like... I don't want to use the word cruddy, let's just say low production value third-person shooters from Japan, because there's a lot of those, surprisingly. There's not that much to see out here. I don't even know what the content gallery is, so we're just going to head straight into the story mode. So, let's just go have a quick look around at everything else before we go hop into the actual game. You can select what character you have on the menu. There's your sound sliders. You can change the cut-ins for when their clothes pop off their bodies, but they're actually a little bit faster in this game, I think. Just a tiny bit faster. You can also change what it looks like when all their clothes are blown off, which is something you don't expect to see in most games like this, but there you go. You can change how far away the camera is, but trust me, this doesn't actually make as much difference as you might think. And you can also change your aim sensitivities, and even touchscreen sensitivity, which, no, let's not. And then you've got your different control schemes, but frankly, number one is absolutely fine. So we'll just leave that as it is. You can go to the shop to buy extra weapons, torture devices, and pieces of clothing. But, well, it's the same thing as the original Board Girls games, where you don't get to buy, like, you don't get to buy really fancy stuff. It's mainly just the same weapon, but enhanced in its stats all the way down through multiple revisions. At least that's how it's been so far in the game. I've only been playing for a couple of hours, but yeah, it's not that impressive. Let's have a look at the handguns. So it's just level 1, level 2, level 3, and all it does is buff up the attack stat a little bit. Same thing with the magnums. Maybe a little bit less spread, but I mean, when your spread is 200 and then it gets lowered down to 196, it really doesn't feel like that big of an upgrade. It's mainly the damage that you want to worry about. Especially in this game, where all the higher difficulties do is make the enemy stronger and you weaker. You've also got clothing, of course, and this does actually give you like a little bit of extra armor, which is nice, but I'm not going to bother showing any of that off. And you can also buy materials, but materials are mainly things you're going to be finding out in the field, and we'll get to what that is shortly. I'll give the game credit. It's nice having the characters in the background there have their full voice lines, and you've even got subtitles for them, which is very good. We are not doing intensive drilling right now, because I cannot bring myself to stomach it. I'm not the sort of prude who goes around saying everything that is so much as showing a bit of skin in a game should be censored, but at the same time, in this game, it feels a little bit over the top this time. So you've got different characters, right? You get all the main girls from Board Girls, plus you get a few fantasy-inspired ones, and... well, if I'm being perfectly honest, outside of their SOD ability and their general selection of weapons, they're not all that much different. Let me show you an example. So let's pick Sylvia. Sylvia I don't know how you're supposed to say that name that doesn't have the word whores in it, but whatever. So, everyone can have a primary weapon, a secondary weapon, and a tertiary weapon. Their primary weapon is locked in, but their second and third weapons are pretty much free choice among almost everything in the game. So you can pick whether or not you want a shotgun, a chain gun, and a sword for your 3 different slots. It's a little bizarre, but not something I'm too annoyed by. So we'll go with shotgun, chain gun, and sword on Sylvia. You also have materials. Materials are very basic to understand. You find them out in the field, and you can equip them all. And when you... Whoops. Oh, that's alright. We'll just add some more anyway. So, you can equip them, and when you equip them, they create effects. Like increase a weapon's lightning damage, or increase a specific weapon's just damage in general, increase the range, and just, you know, pretty much everything else that's here. Bonus. Magnet power. Automatically pick up items within 5 meters. And so on and so on and so on. So you can equip as many as the game will let you. You can see how many slots it'll take over on the left there. So this recovery items one will take up 1 slot. I have 5 slots, and you can improve them via the games. You can improve them via the games framework with me here. Upgrade system. Machine gun, why not? And fire up, and we might as well add some impact up as well. Why the hell not? Materials don't actually do that much, at least not at this point of the game. I imagine later on, they'll be a fair bit more improved. So here's the ability table. This is an absolute eyesore. I mean, Jesus Christ. It is really hard to look at this on the Vita screen. Sure, you could probably look at it on the big screen like this and think, oh, it's not too bad. But actually looking at it on the Vita screen and trying to see what leads where can be a real strain on the eyes. But there is more problems than just looking at it, you see. There are a few things in this game that require different abilities. Like, for example, if you want to have the maximum sword combo, you have to level it up. Thankfully, everything in this game only takes 1 JKP, and you unlock them pretty much every time you level up. So, you can unlock everything with 1 JKP, so you can get to the end of 1 line very quickly. But the requirement for getting the Platinum Trophy in this game is to level up every individual character's table and unlock everything. And the best way to do this is, of course, playing with that character all the way through the game. You also, as I said, in order to upgrade certain weapons, you have to get to the very end of a thing. So, in this case, I've upgraded the longsword to its maximum potential. If you don't do this, you only get 2 swings with the sword. So you walk in, you press R to swing, you press R to swing again, and that's all you get. Rinse and repeat all the way through unless you've got a gun, which you can actually upgrade outside of this, so you don't have to worry about upgrading the individual characters to get the most out of a gun. This applies to every magical and physical weapon in the game. So dual blades, you need to level up completely. To get more than 1 lock-on with a stave, you need to upgrade it completely. It's honestly really frustrating because it means that if you've got a character whose best weapon is their sword, for example, you basically have to give them a gun and use that for the first couple of levels. Because if you don't do that, you'll be stuck using a weapon that's drastically underpowered. And it's honestly quite frustrating. So I'll just grab a couple of other things here. And as you can see, you have to get 168 points to unlock everything on the table. It's bloody retarded. The SOD is basically just their special move. And if you do the special move while they're down to just a bra and panties, they just strip it off entirely, which is a little strange, but whatever. You can also change their clothing from here. And you can put on basically whatever the hell you like. It's actually kind of nice. But then again, in this sort of game, you would hope you get to do that. And of course, you can also change the underwear. But the underwear does actually have their own imbued special skills. Unfortunately, it is an absolute pain in the ass to figure out what exact stuff that you have available for that from this menu. It is seriously just a bit of a pain. You have to go into the menu, go into the specific type of underwear And then you have to figure out whether or not they've actually got a skill built in. So you can see this one here has a skill built in. Poison resistance. Cool. So you have to go through all your different menus of bras and panties and figure out whether or not you've got the skill built in. Can't transfer them as far as I can tell. So there you go. Let's actually go and play a mission. So here's your different missions. You can play through, you have to play through the chapters linearly. However, you can play through on normal or hard difficulty. You can't play on ecstasy difficulty until you've finished that mission. And I wouldn't play on ecstasy difficulty anyway. At least not while you're playing the game in the first run through, because good God. Hard just makes everything a tank. Ecstasy makes everything a tank that requires 2 or 3 magazines from a machine gun to bring down. It's retarded. You also unlock different side missions, and you are restricted to using some characters in some of them, which makes enough sense to me. So, yeah. Let's go to chapter 4. I've only got one mission unlocked here because I haven't played further than this. This is about 2.5 levels through. Hours through, I should say. So, yeah, I've been playing it for a bit, but just after having played it for as long as I did, I could not care less. So I'm just going to let you listen to the voice acting here.
このミドガルドに来てからドラゴンや様々な敵と戦う中でいろいろな人たちと知り合い行動を共にすることになりました。ケットシーのメリーナちゃん、姫騎士のシルビアさん、ダークエルフのファレンさんにエルフのハルディナさん、そして最後に魔法使いのサリアちゃん。この方たちとの交流を通していろいろなことが分かってきました。私たちがこの世界に来た原因はどうもシルビアさんのお父さんオルタニア国王が異界の門の封印を解いたのが発端だったということ。魔導書を盗んだファレンさんのお姉さんと共謀していたことが判明し、シルビアさんはショックを受けたようです。儀式に参加していたと思われている魔法使いのサリアちゃんの記憶もまだ回復する見込みがありません。岬森学園に帰るための方法が書かれていると思われる魔導書の行方も不明のままです。土や死骸などから湧き出すモンスター、異形も脅威ですが、やはり最大の脅威は漆黒のドラゴン。シルビアさんはみんなを説得しようとしているのですが、
一刻も早くドラゴンを撃つべきです。こうしてる間にも多くの人々が危険にさらされています。私たちに戦う力が残っているなら一刻も早く最大の脅威を打ち取るべきです。姫騎士、落ち着け。王の仇を取りたいのはわかるが、ドラゴンに剣が突き刺さってたからってまだ王が死んだと決まったわけじゃない。 分かった風な口を聞かないでください。私の父上が引き起こした不祥事は私がこの手で解決せねばならないのです。姫様、気を落ち着けてください。ヘリの修理が終わり作戦に投入できるようになれば火力面はさらに強化されます。そうそう、そうすれば空と地上から同時に攻撃ができて勝率もかなり高くなると思う。飛行するドラゴンを地上からの榴弾砲や戦車砲だけで対処するのは心もとないし、安全に配慮して対応したいしな。この十字の板がついた鉄の塊が空を飛んだとして一体何の役に立つというのですか？いや、すっごく役に立つんだけども、実際飛行したところを見ないと信じられないか。撃つにしてもドラゴンの正確な居所を特定しないと何とも。姫様はあれを遭遇戦で撃破できるとお思いで。わかりました。もう結構です。シルビアさん、相当焦ってるな。まあ無理もないですね。まさか自分の父親がドラゴンをこの世界に呼び寄せたと聞かされれば。魔導書があれば異界の門を開いて再びドラゴンを封印したり、あなたたちを元の世界に返すこともできそうなのですが、サリアは魔導書について何も思い出せないのですね。ごめんなさい。てっきり回収した本が魔導書だと思ってあんまり探索しなかったんだよな、あの場所。それならもう一度その場所を調査する必要がありそうですね。
卵料理が食べたいんだよ。
Alright, I think you get the point. These cutscenes can go on for a pretty long time, so I'll give them credit for two things. One, the voice acting is actually pretty professional. At least it sounds like it anyway. And two, the English on it isn't actually that bad. Because when I first got the game, and people will know this because I actually talked about it when I was doing my Dreamlands video, just as I was waiting for it to load the first time, where I said the English on the back of the case was absolutely terrible. But having actually played the game, it isn't anywhere near as bad. In fact, I haven't noticed anything generally, like, quote-unquote, wrong with the localization at all. So, I'll give them some credit. At least they actually did that right. So, yeah, there isn't much of a story. It's literally just they got teleported to another world. There'll be dragons and other girls who were surprisingly happy to get molested by these random people who just came from another world. But okay. Whatever, sure. Who the hell cares? So here we are in the dispatch menu. We can choose a buddy. Unfortunately, it appears that most of the buddies are unavailable. And I'm guessing the girl I actually wanted to play is, yep, fantastic. So we have to play as, I assume, Marina as our buddy. Thankfully, this is one of the levels where you can actually bring the buddy along. It seems that they arbitrarily don't let you bring along a buddy on certain levels. Mostly on levels that have bosses in them, which is a little frustrating, but let's actually go and change our attacker's stuff, I should say. Thankfully, this attacker is someone I've actually leveled up, so she stands a decent chance of not actually dying in the middle of the fight. We can't change a weapon from a machine gun, but thankfully it's actually the best machine gun available. Because for whatever reason, the best weapons are restricted to the people who have them as their primary weapon just by default. Let's go and get some other weapons in there, though. We'll go with the... No, I guess we'll go with the UTS-15 because for whatever reason it has more clips and the same attack power. That's absolutely strange. What else can we give her? We can give her the bow, which is absolutely terrible, or we can give her the Magicite hand grenades, which are actually not that bad, all things considered. So we'll give her a Magicite hand grenade, why not? And we've spent all her abilities, so we can't really show off the sword, and her materials, well, honestly, it's going to take too long and I don't care. So let's just go back and actually get into the level 20 minutes in. There is also Micah's textbook. I don't know what that is. I'm assuming that's one of the characters we haven't unlocked yet. So let's just go straight into the level, shall we? I don't remember the loading times being this bad. The loading times in the cutscenes are actually pretty bad for some reason. Sometimes it takes a while for them to swap the models out, and it feels really unnatural. Okay, here we go. So, evacuate to Marina's village. Sounds simple enough. Alright, so, here's how the game works. Left stick moves, right stick aims. L button zooms in. Circle button makes you run. X button makes you dodge, but you also do like a running dodge. There is also this weird lock-on shot which makes things way too fucking easy. Like, if you hit the X button to dodge, and then you hold the R button down while you're in the middle of that dodge, you'll go into a crouching position and you'll auto-aim at anything that's in front of you, which makes the game so incredibly easy that it becomes a cakewalk. You can press triangle to swap weapons, and they'll just let you fire away. Nothing too out of the ordinary. You have your SOD attack, which is in the bottom right there. It's the white bar that's almost completely filled at this point. Let's see if I can actually make use of that. This is the Magicite, by the way. I've actually got one to use. So I've hit triangle and circle. It will do the Magicite attack. Not the Magicite attack, the SOD attack. And again, this will become more powerful if you are only wearing a bra and panties for some reason. Also, the range on it, fucking terrible. Seriously. Really must thank her for... Well, not so much saving my ass, because at this point in the game you have tons of health, so it's not like it's a huge deal. If you hit the enemies in their blue spots on their chest, it will do a fair amount of damage to them. Up and down is the quick turn buttons. But it's actually surprisingly hard to actually hit enemies in the chest bits because, again, the game will automatically lock you onto the enemy's torso. And by the torso, I mean anywhere but the blue bit. So you'll want to be aiming using the right stick if you want to aim for critical hits. But considering that I've got the machine gun right now, you don't really want to be aiming for critical hits. You just want to fire as many bullets into the enemy as possible. And that's pretty much it, really. There are, of course, gratuitous panty shots, as you saw there. Of course, if you get hit, your clothes will be torn off your body. They do actually serve as armor, so you do get, like, say, 20-25% extra health from them, which, you know, is actually a pretty decent thing. Like, I won't argue against having actual armor that serves a purpose. But yeah, it's pretty gratuitous. One of the most gratuitous things about it is how when your buddy gets knocked out, they will be flat on the ground with their ass in the air. And generally by this point they've got no clothes on because the armor on them's been destroyed. And it is stupid. It is legitimately really stupid. And I think it's just a little bit over the top. However, since I'm playing on normal, I probably won't actually get to see that. Mainly because I'm also playing with the cat girl who uses magicite grenades, and they are surprisingly strong. However, I do have a lot of problems with this game. A lot of problems. And the major one seems to be that the game's performance is absolutely freaking retarded. Now, you can see that the game's performance will slow down whenever you have anything like a single enemy on screen. Like, you saw how my bloody machine gun wasn't really firing like a machine gun there. That happens pretty much all the time, just because the game's performance is absolutely freaking terrible. And that is just a constant thing in this game. The performance is bad. It is really bad, and it will continue to be bad. And for the amount of enemies that are on screen, it is inexcusable. It is absolutely inexcusable, the amount of... Seriously? It is absolutely inexcusable, the amount of... Wow. The amount of performance drops there are in this game for being so simple. At least, like, think about Earth Defense Force, for example. Earth Defense Force runs really badly at times. But at the same... Excuse me. But at the same time, they usually run with like 100 or so enemies coming at you from all different angles to at least justify the bad performance. In this game, 3 orcs up close is enough to drop the frame rate. You will almost never have a smooth frame rate in this game, and it is legitimately really frustrating. Combine that with the fact that the enemy AI is incredibly stupid. Most of the enemy AI in this game will mainly just fire straight at you. Well, fire or move straight at you, more or less, right? Like, the orcs, for example, they will run at each other so much that they will phase into each other into this weird blob of 6 different orcs in the same position moving towards you in exactly the same way. And their enemy AI never changes, even on the ecstasy difficulty, which I tried just to see if it would actually improve the AI. No, it just makes them do more damage. They will continue moving straight towards you, and it will remain completely uninteresting to fight them. Almost every enemy in the game is like this. They will basically move straight towards you. Maybe they'll spread out a little, but nothing too particularly impressive. And they'll just shoot at you. There is also boss fights. However, the boss fights are a bit annoying as well. Because again, you lose your buddy, so you don't have a second gun going to bat for you. And you lose your buddy going to bat for you, but at the same time, the enemy AI for the bosses is also pretty stupid. They have a tendency to really love getting knocked down, and it is incredibly easy to do so. So all you really need to do is knock them down, and they'll die. More or less. Like, you'll be able to just knock them over, and that'll be it. There is also the thing that enemies in normal difficulty have very little health and are very easy to destroy. Put it up to hard, thinking, oh, I want a little bit more of a challenge, and suddenly every single enemy in the game will require a full magazine from a machine gun to bring down, and you'll be approached by 6 or 7 at a time. Your buddy will go down really easily, and then you'll just be left with like 7 or 8 orcs just wandering towards you on the same path, phasing through each other, and you'll just have to run around them and just continually fire into them for 10 minutes until they actually decide to lie down and die. So yeah, really unbalanced difficulty. Really not helped by the fact that most of these weapons suck. They really aren't that satisfying to use, and if you're playing on a higher difficulty, they feel like pea shooters. At least on the regular difficulty, normal difficulty, it is more capable. It's more capable of at least feeling like relatively decent guns, but after a while, they just get really boring. I would show off the swords and everything, and I might go. I'll have to go back to a previous level to show off like swords and bows and stuff like that. But they are not particularly impressive either. You do get a bazooka, but it doesn't really do that much for me anyway. It's just the guns just aren't great, and you'll get pretty bored of them pretty quickly. And then there's the physical weaponry. The physical weaponry is just even worse. Like, the bows, for example, require a bit of charge, and you have no idea when you can anything is charged, more or less. It feels weird firing bows in this game because you just don't know. And the melee weapons are nothing special in the slightest. It is seriously. Oh yeah, you have melee attacks too, by the way, but you know, you don't want to get that close to them because they have this annoying tendency to hit you pretty heavily. But yeah, I'll do another mission and I'll try and show off the physical attacks. And then we'll have to go and show off the intensive drilling, won't we? Because, yeah, of course we will. The point I'm trying to make is that the gunplay isn't really that satisfying, and they have this annoying tendency to recycle enemies. Like, the good old orcs here, for example. All these orcs are... These orcs are all first level enemies. You run into them all in the first level, and as you saw when I was loading in the level, this is mission 13. The fact that they're still using the basic orcs in mission 13 is retarded. I mean, sure, you have these guys here, but again, they're not really that special. Most of the enemies they brought up so far aren't really that special. Are we done? Thank God, we're done. That is basically what a mission is. Just waves of repetitive enemies over and over again. Pick up a few pickups along the way. Get ranked at the end of it. Surprisingly easy. And you level up. You get extra material slots, extra skill points, and that's it. Yep, she's complaining that the underwear doesn't have any special abilities on it, which is admittedly something an actual person playing this game would complain about. Alright, I'm going to skip this. There's going to be no intensive drilling. The intensive drilling stages only come after you beat a boss. So let's go back to the missions. Let's see. Does the next mission actually have a boss in it? Does not. Okay, so let's go back to a mission that actually has a boss in it. Yeah, screw it, that'll do. Well, I should not play it on ecstasy. Let's play it on hard, just for the purpose of demonstration. As you can see, I don't actually get my buddy in this one, so they still get, brain work with me here. You still get a bunch of benefits from having a buddy along, but it's, like, you don't actually get the actual buddy along with you, which is disappointing. So, let's pick, Sylvia Hoare in the face, or whatever her bloody name is. How do you pronounce that? Hortensie? And let's get her let's get her a bow. And let's get her, well, I guess we're not going to be able to give her anything else, so we'll give her an assault rifle. Why not? Yeah, fuck it, that'll do. So yeah, remember, this girl's leveled up her sword all the way, so she'll be able to actually use it at the maximum combo and not at the 2-hit combo that you would normally have. Thankfully, I can demonstrate just what playing with a 2-hit combo would look like. But yeah, it's still not great. There are a bunch of other problems I have with this game as well. Like, for example, I'll have to demonstrate the close-in camera now, won't I? Now, playing with the close-in camera comes with a bunch of weird problems that the far-away camera doesn't have. The main one is that you seem to lack the ability to move directly straight. It's always going to be on a slight angle, even if you swear you have the analog stick pointing straight upwards. I don't know what the deal is with this, so let's demonstrate. So if I go to the options here and go for the close camera, see, it really isn't that much of a difference, is it? But in this camera, you will never move directly forward. You will always move slightly to the left. I do not know why this is a thing, and it actually makes me more sick than playing games in virtual reality. It is honestly amazing. Alright, so 1, 2. Run away. That is the end of your combo. No, I'm not kidding. That is the only combo you get. 1, 2. That's all you get until you level up. Then you get this. Yes, really. Honestly, these melee combos are really bad. They don't feel like they've got any real punch to them. They're just a bit iffy. And There are a couple of other weapons as well, like there's the magic stave, for example, or stave, however you're supposed to pronounce it. And with the magic stave, you lock onto multiple enemies at a time, but you only lock onto 3 enemies at a time, and those 3 enemies are gonna take absolutely no damage, even on normal mode. So in order for staves to actually be useful, you really do need to level it up all the way. So let me show you how bows work. You get one shot with them. You hold it, you let it go, doesn't really do much. Zooming in is supposed to give you a little bit of a charge attack. But again, it just doesn't really do much. Like even on normal, this doesn't really do much. It's honestly quite frustrating. And here's your assault rifle. Incredibly basic, nothing too out of the ordinary. Alright, I remember what I need to do for this. I need to go into, shit. Yep, there goes all my clothes in one shot, because as I said before, they are way stronger on hard mode, and you are just way weaker. That is the entirety of the difficulty of this game. Alright, now I just continue. Right, I actually have to kill them before it'll let me leave. Fantastic. Right, sword. It'd be nice if there was more than just one weapon combo. I mean, seriously, just having one weapon combo in this game is honestly quite boring for the physical weaponry. Like, see, look at this. Even with the best sword I have available at the time, like, I get that they... Whoa, that's a little unexpected. I get that they want you to, like, upgrade your weapons and stuff like that and come back to these difficulties later. But when the lower difficulties are just so goddamn boring that you feel the need to go up to hard, it just seems ridiculous. So yeah, her special ability is to summon a bunch of drones that don't really help out very much. At least they take shots for you. Like, see how hard it is to try and... What? I'm guessing that's what happens when she loses her tiara or something. That was a little bizarre. See how hard it is to actually hit, like, the critical hit area? Because everything in this game has a bit of a random spread. And this random spread can really screw you. There. Are we done here? Can we move out? No, we cannot. We have to fight yet another wave. Boss fights aren't really anything that special anyway. They use the weapons from the game anyway, so it's not like they do anything particularly unique. They have a health bar, their clothes can be torn off, and if you tear all their clothes off, it actually carries through to the intensive drilling session, but we don't really need to worry about that. This is why you don't play on the higher difficulty modes. Not to mention, if you've got the camera in too close, actually trying to aim at dudes because your character's body will go right in the middle of the camera just makes it incredibly difficult. Honestly, just everything about the gameplay in this game really just sucks, at least in this part. I mean, the intensive drilling isn't that much better, but that's because it's intensive drilling. Seriously, this is an incredibly dull shooting game, and it's got... See what I mean when I say all the orcs just, like, coalesce into one big blob of just green skin that slowly moves towards you? If you want to take them all out, you have to just go to the effort of running around and just having them follow you and just slowly shoot them from a distance, because if I try and engage in melee distance, I will eventually get done in by the 1 or 2 dudes that I couldn't effectively shoot. That is just something that will occur. And there's nothing that I can do about it. So now that I'm down to just the underwear, now I can just strip it off. And I can summon 2 slightly more powerful dudes that don't even look it in this. It's bizarre. You can probably hear my headphones through the freaking camera. It's surprisingly loud. Should have brought along the damn machine gun. But yeah, for the most part, the gameplay in this game is a boring mess. It is absolutely nothing to write home about. There is a tiny amount of enemies that somehow still manage to slow the game almost to a crawl. The actual guns aren't very good. Aiming them is an absolute pain in the ass from time to time. And it's just generally unenjoyable. There's really nothing here that's worth talking about. And of course you've got the whole ecchi side of things going on here. Look at this idiot AI, just got stuck on a... Whoops. Just got stuck on a bloody wall and didn't even really get to... Just didn't even get to line up and die with the rest of them. No, can't leave yet because there's still another wave of dudes they feel the need to throw at me, because of course they do. The guns in this game are the most effective weapons by far, just because it means you don't have to get in close, and you don't have to worry about things like having to reload every second thanks to the bloody, Yep, that was one hell of a camera angle. Yeah, just because you don't have to get in close, and you don't have to worry about reloading every couple of seconds. It's mostly followed up by the Magicide, but the Magicide is basically just a hand grenade anyway, so... yeah. Yep. Bit of a dick move, game. Bit of a dick move. And let me guess. I can't leave. Nope. Can't leave. You know, the worst thing is, those bloody drones that were following me around didn't even follow me up here, so they can't distract them for me. I'm happy I stacked all that, I'm happy I stacked all the elemental damage. It does actually seem to be helping me out a bit here. Remember that I said the AI was retarded and would just follow you in a straight line? I really wasn't kidding. It is that retarded. At least in a game like Earth Defense Force. Like, I saw a review comparing this game to Earth Defense Force, and I'm thinking to myself, what the fuck are you on about? This game is absolutely nothing like Earth Defense Force. The weapons are nowhere near as varied, the enemy AI is nowhere near as dangerous, threatening, or even cool, and it's just... it is so unbelievably boring. Good, now I can actually go and fight the boss. There will be a cutscene, which I'm going to skip. When the load time is finished. Seriously, what the hell? Anytime now, game, if you please. There we go. Right. Oh, Christ, it just keeps going. Forgot about this part. Right, you know what? Fuck this. Just fuck this. Like, there is no point in continuing whatsoever. You get the general idea. The bosses are just as dumb as the rest of it, and it's not worth the time. It really isn't, and we haven't even gone into the intensive drilling yet. So, you know what? Let's go do that, because I would be... I'd be really, what's the word? Remiss if I didn't show off every individual part of the game. So, for those of you who aren't familiar with Bullet Girls, this part is going to be very strange to you. Yes, there are multiple modes, including reverse drilling for some reason, but we're not going to do that. Let's pick a character. You know what? I'm not that against Sylvia. And you can even turn on clothing damage, which is nice. Unfortunately, can't have a second character. You can change the pose, you can change who will be watching, you can change where it takes place, and you can change your different items. Admittedly, all these names are actually pretty amusing, so I don't actually have any other drilling items, so we might as well just hop straight into it. Yes, really. Yep. You want to explain this to me? Like, I haven't actually seen this in the story yet. Where did this come from? I don't even know. Anyway, so, I've got 2 minutes to explain the point of this to you before I actually have to end up doing it again. So, you have bad points, good points, and excellent points. Every individual tool gets different bad or good points or excellent points. The idea is that you want to be using the right tool at the right spot, because again, you get certain points for good, bad, or excellent. The more points you earn by getting stuff in a good place, a bad place, or an excellent place will increase your ranking. However, in order to actually get like maximum amount of points, you absolutely do need to get extra tools, because there are tools that just outright give you a ton of extra points, but you have to buy them from the shop. Like, for example, like, most of these tools here won't get you above 20 points in any particular area. There is one tool that will get you 50 points in every single area, like, no questions asked. And there are also tools that will give you, like, 100 points or something like that. It honestly gets ridiculous after a while, but yeah. As you can see, you just need to find the right points, use the right tools, and you'll get the most points. And there is plenty of different points to attack. I believe the game said there was something like 20 different points for every individual character, and they're all different, so you do need to find the good points. You can't exacerbate an area after you do it for a certain amount of time, and you do get points for getting combos, for getting, like, yeah, like you can see there that the more areas you destroy in a row without, you know, losing the combo or anything, will get you more points as part of the combo. So, yeah, it is a bit of a sort of memorize all the points that they like and all the points that they don't like game, and just, you know, doing it all in a row for the most amount of points possible. And that's the entire game in a nutshell. It's absolutely disgusting. And most of the girls actually end up liking it. It is seriously kind of silly just how much they tend to enjoy themselves in this game. It is absolutely disgusting. And I can understand why people like it, but I find absolutely no enjoyment in this whatsoever. So, you know, take that how you will. That's a pretty basic example of it. There is also ones where you do two girls at the same time, and ones where they also fight back, which is kind of interesting, but I couldn't be fucked to get that far, because this game is honestly terrible. You get a rank at the end of it, and again, you can't get the higher ranks until you get the more expensive tools, and by the more expensive tools, I mean it takes like 5 missions just to afford one new tool. And yes, you're free to look around as much as you like once you're done. The music is surprisingly upbeat for someone who, yeah, basically just got molested. It's it's bad. It's really bad. It's all really bad. It, even compared to the, wait, did I just hit retry? I did not mean to hit retry. Great. But yeah, you get the general idea. The actual gameplay, the whole guns and bullshit and sword, the whole guns, swords, bows and all that crap is incredibly boring because the enemy design is bad, the guns are not enjoyable, and the performance of it is ridiculously low even by Vita standards. You'll seriously have the game slowing to a crawl within no time at all. The game itself is just a bore, and the whole getting your tools out and seeing how much of a combo you can get on these girls is not good either. It is honestly quite boring, and the fact that you have to wait until you get the really high quality tools before you can actually go to the effort of, you know, whatever, just actually getting the S ranks is even worse. And just the general inconsistency of the game. Like, sometimes the weapons are really good, sometimes the weapons are really bad, sometimes you get a buddy, sometimes you don't. Sometimes the missions will go okay, but then you put the difficulty up and it just turns into a bloody tank fest. It's not enjoyable. It really isn't. Like, even compared to the previous two Bullet Girl games, this game has basically nothing going for it in the grand sense, except for the fact that it is incredibly perverted and incredibly trashy. And if you want that, go right ahead. But if you want that, go play Dead or Alive Extreme Beach Volleyball 3 or whatever the hell they call that game. Because seriously, that is actually better at what it does than this game is. Or even just go play the second Bullet Girls. You'll probably be able to get it cheap at this point. Yeah. I don't care. I'm done. I can finally take this game out of my fucking Vita. It's been in there for too long. It feels dirty now. I'm never going to get the stain out. So yeah, this has been Blue Maxima, and I will see you all next time.